Welcome back to Doing Miracles in Manhattan, the ABCs of isolation. Letter E, pretty exciting.
Letter E.
Yeah. Do you have one?
Expectations.
Fuck a duck!
No way, is that yours?
It was mine. Damn. That's
well,
good.
Well, I guess we'll talk about that.
We could. We'll see what happens by the second half. Maybe I'll have
There'll be
something.
some other E that'll pop up.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
There's many.
Yeah.
Energy.
Yeah.
Exercise. We'll see what pops up.
Yes. Yes.
But I was just thinking about it earlier, and yeah, that's it. That expectations, that's all. That's the key to happiness, not having them.
Yeah, it's true. So why now more than ever, do you think?
Well, the way I was thinking of it, what I thought of it mostly, actually, was people have a little bit of knowledge about this disease,
Mm-hmm.
and they're expecting things to happen according to that little bit of knowledge. And the fact is, we don't know everything, and we cannot make very good predictions based on the little that we do know. Now, having like psychic predictions, that's a whole different thing, but most people walking around don't choose to use that aptitude. So they're relying on this little bit of information that we have. They're making predictions and they're not coming true. And everyone's getting very scared because of that.
They're making, predictions on a daily basis, even if they're not fully conscious ones that are continually disappointed, waking up angry, waking up confused, waking up, what is happening? Yeah. Yeah.
Is that how you were thinking of it?
No, not really. I'm just going off of what you said.
Yeah.
But the frequency of disappointment goes up with the frequency of expectation in the face of like true unknowing, right?
Right. So you're expecting your groceries to arrive. They don't. You're expecting them in 2 days. They arrive, or your order gets cancelled. Then you get very upset. You're expecting to be able to make dinner and you out of fresh vegetables, and you don't. You have to use canned soup. So it's just little things like that. But then it's also larger, or the way people see them, larger things like who's going to get sick and die.
Sure.
Oh, it's only old people. Oh, now all of a sudden we have 3 children in New York died, and they didn't have the regular expected symptoms.
Right.
They had organ failure and that kind of thing. No, like flu-like symptoms. And I was just reading about.
Hey, Oyo, do you hear me? You cut out. Yeah, you did. And she's back.
Oh, God.
How long did you go on for?
Oh, I don't know. Forever. This computer's battery is all but defunct. So I have to keep it plugged in, and on the soft surface it came out, the power cord.
Oh,
so now I've stuck something under it. But yeah.
Mine is fully defunct. It actually says that when you click on it. It says 100%, and then it says, what does it say? It says service battery.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. Let's see. Where were you? Well, we were talking about the frequency of expectations being disappointed. You had already gone through soup and things. Asking questions of something that you don't know, like this disease.
Well, whatever. I mean, that's fine.
Right.
I mean, why don't we go to say what you thought?
Well, okay. So, I mean, what I was going to respond to that is like, well, twofold. We were talking a minute ago about advertising.
Oh, yeah.
And, people who want to try to conceptually and politically control the experience of this disease are taking a very classic advertising approach, which is just to say the same shit over and over again, right? It'll be fine, go back to work. It'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. And people who are more, scientists, let's just call them, they don't get to have the same message every day because shit changes.
Yeah.
Because now kids have disease, right? Because you can say it's just about old people, it's just until it's not.
Yeah.
And so you get one side who gets to repeat the same message constantly, and the other that doesn't. Except now you're seeing a little bit more of that. As I saw today watching some of the Senate hearings where, the various the CDC guy and Dr. Fauci and so forth were sort of on point with one another. But yeah, getting to repeat how things are to yourself is a way of reassuring how things are. And sometimes that doesn't fall into the best court. By way of anecdote, this was the other thing. I'm afraid these are not connected. I took a day off. Yesterday, I took a day off, which oddly enough was something my business sort of had it subtly encouraged people to do. Sort of like, don't wait for this to be over, because then everyone will take off at the same time.
Oh, okay. Is that what people are doing? Because they can't go anywhere or do anything, so they don't. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm. That's silly.
It is silly. It's sort of like that whole, don't save your PTO till Christmas because everybody's going to do it sort of thing, but on a massive scale.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to see what a day off would feel like, and I definitely needed one because last week was a little nuts. And I was my own worst enemy in a lot of ways. I had a real shit day yesterday, and I had a really pretty awesome Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which is not always usual for me, because I was sort of getting ready for this day off, and it wasn't. It was funny, right? I was kind of making things just right, and I was gonna be I'm gonna write something awesome. It's gonna be like this and that, and I didn't pay too much time to it. And then yesterday rolled around, and I was like, I feel dismal.
That's really funny.
And that was a lot of expectation happening there. A lot of pressure.
That is really funny. Huh.
Yeah.
So.
And it did. Yeah. It did occur to me I had nowhere to go, nothing to do, but those are some of my favorite days as well. So
I know, but you'd already done it. You'd already done it in the 3 days preceding, because you had been working on something, which was this day. Well, and then the day came along, and the point of it wasn't the day. The point of it was the lead up to it.
Exactly. Oh, exactly.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, it's as hilarious as and as sad as when people are like, when will this be over?
Right.
Because there's only different versions of not what you want to hear.
Right. When will this be over? Right. Well, and I keep telling my clients that, spiritual counseling clients, psychic mediumship clients, when will this be over? It's not. It won't. Stop asking me that question. It's not going to be over. Things have changed irretrievably. So there is no over. There's just another day of a bit different.
Yes.
The quicker people sort of come to that. But you know what? People would be screaming and complaining about something else if it wasn't this anyway. This isn't really causing anything different for people. People choose to be outraged over whatever is happening, or they choose to be peaceful about whatever is happening.
I'm with you a little bit on that. This seems qualitatively different.
You think?
It does. It does. There are friends that I have that I might have wanted to talk to this weekend who have just, without policy, dropped off the map. It's sort of like what it must be like to be my friend, actually.
To be what?
My friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you do that.
Sometimes I do.
But it's okay, because I'm psychic and I can go, oh, he's okay. And then I just wait.
I know. It's lucky that
Thank
way.
God. I think that's it's definitely brings me much peace. That that aptitude. But go on, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do think maybe discussing how things are different is a separate topic, but here's what I feel with regards to expectations and things being different.
Yeah.
Get
ready.
But No, I see what you mean. Let's say that one of two things. I'll give you an extreme case and an acute case. Extreme case. It's 2016. The election goes to shit, right? And I am buckled down for what I believe is going to be a craptastic 4 years in one way or another. And I saw people doing this, like in the arts community, and in many ways, like they're kind of right to do that. It's kind of, it's smart to acknowledge when things are going to change for a long time. But eventually, to your point, even in this gonzo circus act of 4 years that we've had, there's been some semblance of normalcy. Another case is when you have the flu, the real flu. And you're like, okay, there's an end to this in most cases, right? In this case, where we are now, I really don't know. I really don't know what I will be like when it is possible to do things
more or less like we used to, more like 80% or whatever it is going to be like when we're actually allowed to socialize outside.
When I can get on the subway, even if I have to wait in a line, When things are like that, I do not know if I'm going to be the same bloke. I just feel like I don't know at all, or how the world is going to be. I'm not sure, and it does have some anxiety, but there's a sort of a sense of adventure to it. But I don't really know how to feel. Does this make sense to you?
That does make sense. I know.
What'd you say?
I know how people are going to be. People are going to be traumatized. People are traumatized, and they don't even realize it. And they don't realize that's what they're going through. They'll go out to the supermarket and freak out. When someone comes around the other corner, that's trauma. And they may just think that they are being cautious, but it's trauma. They're traumatized. And you and I know that because we've been through actual trauma. And so we sort of recognize what's going on and dealing with it right now. And you'll go out when this is quote unquote over, and you'll sort of watch yourself and you'll observe yourself and you'll know your processes kind of thing. But a lot of people won't. And so a lot of people will still be trying to protect themselves from the spiritual injury, which is the trauma. So they won't want to go to dinner with more than 2 people. They won't want to go out to a restaurant. They want to go to someone's home. They won't, so, or, they will be acting out. So they'll go and get drunk and kiss 6 people at a concert. Right. It's going to be, it's going to be post-traumatic behavior.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it is so surprising to me that you said just a moment ago that this isn't so different from everything else, because I feel like it so is. And here's another way why.
I think it is different, but I think people are the same. Like if people are reacting in the same way that they would, no matter whether it was this virus or a war or a flood or at a smaller scale, there's a building being built that's gonna obscure their view. Like they're still gonna have the same reaction. It's on the person, not the external.
Yeah. I mean, some differences that pop to mind from all of those things are that the thing that is a trigger, or would be a trigger for post-trauma in this, is just other people, right?
Yes.
And the things you can't see, germs, and like we have, I'm sure that in history that's happened, but not in recent memory.
No, this
wars
is the first
and floods. And the other thing is that, like,
yeah, it's true.
People have not.
That's true. People,
in my experience, spend a long time undergoing a slow burn of trauma.
That's true.
In the company of people they care about sometimes.
Right.
Like you and your little one, and some of my family, they have their families with them. Others of us are just alone.
Yeah.
And like,
that's true. Normally in disaster, people come together very closely in physical proximity. This time it's the opposite.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes me think of the show Lost in a way, because what's interesting about that, many things, but is that It just, all it is focusing on whatever it is, 60 people, 24 people, I don't know, X number of people who experienced the same trauma at once and then process it all in different ways.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had 9/11. That was...
We did, yeah. Well, that's true. I was in the Midwest, but that didn't. I drove.
Yeah, no, that happened.
Honestly, it didn't make too much of a diff.
No, here in New York City, we processed that together. That was much more traumatic. See, I'm not having really any problem with this.
Interesting.
9/11 was much more devastating for New York City. Yeah.
I mean, I drove out the week, a few days after it happened. So I drove cross country to be here. Yeah. And I'm not really making claim to understanding the same thing, but yeah, I get it.
But I still think that that people, it's our choice whether to be outraged or scared or serene in the face of change or the face of expectations being dashed, no matter what it seems to be happening externally. That's really my point.
Yes. No, I agree. From a sort of like, what's the best thing you can do for yourself?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's to have minimal expectations and to recognize that you weren't built as a machine designed to have minimal expectations. You were built to be a prediction engine, you know?
Right. Well, the ego is very, very strong, but we can dissolve that, and we can, which is the spiritual work, you know, that I'm always talking about.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my God. What do you expect to be doing with the rest of your week or day?
Me?
Yeah.
Don't know. I don't really have those kinds of expectations.
That's another question that people don't. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, you don't want to ask people either how they're doing quite.
Yeah.
Because you're expected to know also. And you sort of, maybe you do, maybe you don't. You also don't necessarily want to ask, what are you doing tonight? For one of two reasons. Either the answer, you already know it, which is nothing. Yeah. Or the answer is something you didn't want to hear, like when one's parents who are of a certain age are like, "Oh, we're having all these people over for dinner." It's like,
yeah, those two answers are not good answers. No, I actually do ask that in a roundabout way, but I don't want those answers.
No, nobody wants those answers.
And I guess those are the usual, in normal times, those are the two choices we have. It's either nothing or something, and something involves other people out or in. But these days, I do want an answer. I am interested in an answer, but actually I from the people that I associate with, I expect answers like, I'm going to an online class about, Botticelli or something, or I'm going to listen to Renee Fleming sing at Carnegie Hall, or I'm going to read the latest autobiography, or I'm going to put on some old vinyl records, or I'm going to dress up and dance in my living room. Like, those are the kinds of answers I expect, and I do get from my close friends.
I like how you just single-handedly dashed the proletarian appeal of our podcast with that list of things to do that ranged from opera to other fancy things. I'm having a moment. It was funny.
I know.
I had to turn the mute button on.
But dancing in your living room's not. You can put...
It's true. Zoe Deschanel ruined that for me on the Apple commercial back in the day.
Oh, really?
But, yeah, well, Siri, what should we do today? We should dance.
Oh, I didn't know that one. I mean, other options are watching The Connors, which is actually one of my favorite things to do. Watching... what is it? Is it Ultimate Fighting or something? What is it?
Like UFC?
Yeah, what is it? In Florida, they're classed it as an essential service.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, I think it is like mixed martial arts kind of thing.
Mixed martial arts?
Or do you mean professional wrestling?
I don't know. It's one of those.
I know.
It's
one
of
what
those
you're talking
things. About. And So, you can, you might be watching that.
Yeah.
And I know this because my
Yeah,
children's
it's pro wrestling.
father, it's pro wrestling.
WWE pro wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, I saw something that they did before Florida made this announcement way back. I used to be a lot into this stuff. I actually almost went and did copywriting for these people, which would have been kind of amazing.
Yeah.
But they did like an event, whatever it would have been. I don't know. They have like several key events a year, and it was a big one. And they did it to an empty stadium, and like they really let loose on some of the like after they just did all these crazy things with editing and storyline and made some guy have like a dissociative episode and then turned it into. Let me see if I can kind of.
That's fun. Well, that's like that TV show Glow. They kind of started to do a few things like that. Yeah. So my children's father, he works as a rigger sometimes. So he's down in Florida. He'll rig the stadium for shows. So I know that this is happening because he was one of the first stagehands to go back to work in the country for that purpose. And you could laugh at it being classed as an essential service, but I think it's appropriate because at this time people need or benefit from watching other people get hurt. People that are not themselves, and expressing anger and frustration, and also laughter, absurdity, I mean, entertainment, has always been essential. So,
yeah.
So listen, that's not fancy schmancy. I've got to also say that I like certain reality TV shows, and that's certainly not opera.
Why don't you recommend some?
Too Hot to Handle.
What is that? What is that?
These people, they come to, the island, or I don't know if it's an island, whatever. They come to the Caribbean paradise, the proverbial paradise, and they're from all over the world. Well, they're from England, Australia? No, mostly England. Maybe there's a Canadian, an American, and an Australian or something. They must have got them. They must have cast it from London, and they're all really, really hot. I mean, I don't know what the word is. Not objectively necessarily, but you know what I mean. Like societally, the given parameters.
Yeah, normatively.
Normatively, yeah. And so they all think they're going there for some sort of, Love Island hookup thing. Who can find love? Who gets to hook up with who?
I've heard of this.
Yeah. So they get there and they have, the intro parties and everything, and they're all like in bikinis and no shirts, whatever. And they're talking about each other and, I like him, and who do you want to go? And she's hot, and oh yeah, gorgeous. And then they have a bit of a party, they do some dirty dancing, whatever. Then they get told, okay, what you're really here for is, yes, to find relationships, but there's a big prize money, there's $100,000, and every time someone has any kind of sexual contact, you get fined, right? So you can't kiss or have sex or anything in between, or you keep losing money. So yeah, they're all like, oh shit, because their lifestyle is hooking up. In the intros, they all talk to the camera about how hot they are and how many people they've slept with and how they love hooking up and dancing and this, that, and the other and whatever. So that was very entertaining. seeing how the week proceeded.
Right. So these are all people who are essentially they're like on Tinder type people.
Yeah, they're promiscuous, hot people who are just having a great old life, hooking up everywhere.
Yeah. Somebody told me about this I forget if I came up with a similar idea to this, and somebody was like, yeah, it's been done. And then I was like, but here's my twist. I want to remember so badly. What was I thinking? Oh no. I hate real time. I'll remember it. What could the twist be? Yeah, the challenge is not to fuck.
Yeah.
And
so that's what they get told. So And then another one I like. Oh, another one I just finished was Restaurants on the Edge. So they go around and they go all around the world to restaurants that have amazing views, but are not doing well. And there's no reason in a restaurant with an amazing view shouldn't be doing well, like you know. And so they have a designer. There's a team of a designer, a chef, and a marketing guy, and they go around and they give them a makeover. And you know, they go around to like Slovenia, St. Lucia, Hawaii, northern Canada, like all around the world. It's really cool, and they really get to know the people who run these restaurants because they're labors of love. So it's a really cool show. I recommend that one as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So there you go.
Very
See,
nice.
I'm not fancy.
No, I wasn't. I didn't really even mean that, but yeah. There's actually a really good RPG that I listened to some people playing, in which you have to play a professional wrestler.
Oh, really?
Is part of the game, and it's pretty awesome actually, because it's not about again, it's a tabletop game. You're just talking, but really, it's about how well you play your character, and whether or not you win audience approval and stuff like that. Yeah. So I figured out what the World Wrestling event thing is.
Oh.
Conveniently, it begins with an F. So I may send you this link.
Oh, okay. We'll do it next.
Potentially discuss it for the next one.
All right, let's keep that under wraps.
The Firefly Funhouse match. So, all right.
All right. So
expectations.
Expectations, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Expectations. Yeah. Usually, my expectations are met when I ask, "What are you doing tonight?"
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, but see, again, this is where the solution is to go inward and find your peace, your entertainment, your fun, your joy, your satisfaction within. Right. This is really this set of circumstances is really hard on people who have relied on distraction.
Sure.
You know, except those who have been relying on food for distraction, but you know they're getting fatter.
Oh, I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
No, certainly not.
Yeah. There's yeah, for sure.
Anyway.
All right. Well, there's another F. So basically, the next episode is mapped out according to expectations.
I don't want to use. I don't
wrestling and eating. Great.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to talk about that.
No, me neither. There's a reason we didn't talk about exercise. Wow, that was me texting you. That's a loud text. Oh my god.
Okay.
All right.
Must be
somehow I just ended up sending you a link to just plain old YouTube. So forget about that.
Thanks.
Just delete that.
YouTube.
I'll figure this out. But.
Expectations.
All right. So there was expectations. Just try to manage them.
Yeah. What's that saying?
Know you have them if you don't.
It's your happiness is inversely proportional to your expectations.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah.
There we go. We'll leave you with that little gem.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Good talking to you as always, Steph.
All right.
Till soon.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Steph? Yeah.
Okay. So I actually